Hi, my name is Dr. Rachel Langley. I'm a family physician and I own Homestead Direct Primary Care. Your employer has recently learned about direct primary care and wants to offer this to you as an employee benefit, but I realize it's kind of a weird way of practicing medicine, so I thought I'd give you this quick tour of the office and a little bit of a description of how this works. So direct primary care happens to be the only way of practicing primary care that's actually growing right now. Most companies that are being taken over by hospital systems or insurance companies, things like that, are really not doing well with primary care, except direct primary care. So direct primary care is usually when the physician themselves owns the clinic and offers primary care directly to the consumer without use of insurance. So about half of my patients have insurance and just save it for emergencies and surgeries and labs and medications and things like that, whereas they pay me a monthly membership in order to see me as much as they want. So here's my office. I'm in the middle building. There's an office building over there and an office on the other side. On the middle building of the series of three office buildings on the corner of Glen Eagle and Baptist Roads. So if you're coming from I-25, you take Baptist down till just about when it's about to turn into the trees. You make a right-hand turn onto Glen Eagle, and there we are. Or if you're coming from Hodgen, Hodgen turns into Baptist, and outside the trees you can turn left onto Glen Eagle. So middle building, first floor, towards the back. Here we go towards the office. And I've got, let's see, 2 exam rooms, and I do my own blood draws right in clinic to save you some time from having to go to Quest or LabCorp. Those are all for cash prices. If you want to use insurance, if you have it, you're welcome to take my lab order to a Quest or LabCorp or wherever your insurance company likes to have those labs drawn. And but otherwise, I have amazing prices for cash prices for labs, and we talk about what you need to have done. I don't have very many just big panels that I do on everyone because it's very much tailored to be what you really need. So that's one of the services I offer here. I also have my little coffee bar, cocoa, tea, water, whatever sounds good to you. Here's the waiting room that I try not to let anyone ever wait in. But mostly I have Duplos in the corner for kids that might be hanging out for their parents while they're doing their exams, things like that. I've got one exam room that doesn't have windows. It's more for procedures, EKGs, pap smears, things like that, where I don't really need a window. I've got a bathroom here, very exciting. This is where I usually see my patients, trying to make it open, welcoming, big windows with lots of squirrels playing in the trees. And then back here is where I check vital signs and do eye exams if we need them. And then otherwise I have my kiddos study room for when they're here with me in the office, and my messy office that I will keep the door closed. So it's a pretty small place, but I do as much as I can. The idea of direct primary care is that you're kind of just paying to have me on retainer for you as your doctor. So whatever I can do, I include in the membership. So I do pap smears, but I do have to send those off for a pathologist to look at to make sure there's no signs of cancer. So I have to charge for the pathologist fee, but my time is all included. All the supplies that I have, I use an autoclave to keep them clean and reusable between patients and keep my costs down. So that's what direct primary care is working directly with your doctor. And it just ends up being a better experience for everyone, in part because I know exactly who I'm working for. I mean, back when I worked for health insurance, it was health insurance who was paying me. Even though I was working for my patients, I still had to follow all these health insurance rules of how I wrote my notes instead of just being what I needed to know to reference to make my care of my patients better. I had to spend a lot of extra time writing down all the things that the insurance companies wanted me to write down in order to get paid. Those were the requirements. So they had me do silly extra things. I mean, you've all had that, like, are you suicidal, you're homicidal kind of questions, like, am I really going to have this deep conversation in this random little question? It's just a requirement by the insurance company, and it's just obnoxious to everyone. And it's not helping anyone actually live healthier lives. So I get to really tailor my practice to what is meaningful to my patients. So that tends to mean that I have longer appointment times for my patients, at least half an hour, sometimes an hour, especially when we're initially getting to know each other. I also am not limited in how I can talk to my patients. So insurance companies often won't reimburse very much for phone appointments. I don't care about what they're reimbursing for. If a phone appointment is what you need, then I'm going to have a conversation with you on the phone or via webcam, Zoom kind of thing. So whatever really brings healthcare to my patients easiest and helps them to live healthiest lives, that's what I'm aiming towards. So that means my patients also can text me or email me after hours. Texts tend to be more urgent things that maybe they're considering going to the ER or the urgent care. And often I can kind of talk you through, these are the worrisome signs to keep an eye out for. These are signs that everything's going just the way it's supposed to. We'll make an appointment for tomorrow just to make sure that everything's okay. But for now, this is what you should look for over the night, things like that. So and that's really helpful for kiddos, for injuries. I mean, I deal with broken bones sometimes that way. We can make it work and keep you healthy while also not breaking the bank and also wasting your time sitting in the ER, waiting room for forever, things like that. So that's what direct primary care is all about, trying to really make healthcare more accessible for people in a way that isn't wasting your time sitting around on the phone trees trying to get a hold of your doctor. You get to reach right to me via phone or via text or via email if it's not so urgent. I mean, you hear about a supplement that sounds interesting, email me about it. Let's talk about the pros and cons of it. Absolutely. I love practicing medicine this way. I find that a lot of people with high levels of anxiety come down a lot when they realize, no, really, you can reach your doctor. I'm there for you. Or people that feel like they never go to the doctor. Well, it turns out that they're often just brushing things under the rug or relying on Dr. Google to tell them what to be worried about. So I have a lot of spouses that end up getting signed up by their spouse who's already been a member. And they realize, you know what, now that I have a doctor that I can just email, I don't need to worry about this rash and just like put whatever cream I have sitting around on it. I can just send a picture of that to my doctor, get some advice on it, and then I get to have the comfort of knowing that I'm not just ignoring something that might be worrisome. I'm getting good care, and it's not that hard. It just brings the difficulty of dealing with a healthcare system back into a more normal place instead of way up here where things have to, I mean, you have to be gushing blood in order to even consider going into the healthcare system or something extreme like that, because it's such a hassle. Why would you go through all that if it's not a big deal? So hopefully I can help to make you and your family healthier as well. I'm happy to have free meet and greets here in my office, so you can check it out for yourself, meet me, make sure that it's something that will work for you. You've got a really good deal for you through your employer on my memberships. I also contract with non-employers, but the prices are higher than if you work with your employer to come and see me. And yeah, but it's a pretty awesome system no matter how you look at it. I look forward to meeting you in person, and feel free to explore my YouTube channel here that I've been adding to for years with things that I wish I could share with people all over the world. I mean, spiels that I give on a regular basis is kind of what I've recorded here. If I talk to people again and again about eczema, that's why I have my eczema video, because I want everyone to know about the basics of eczema care. And a little bit about my background. I'm a family medicine doctor. I trained undergrad at CU Boulder. Met my husband there, went to Kansas City for medical school after teaching middle school math and science for 2 years outside of Denver. Still felt like being a doctor, and then the Air Force offered to pay for it, so I signed up. Then I did my family medicine residency in Las Vegas at Nellis Air Force Base, was stationed in Oklahoma at Enid, taking care of pilot students, and then over at Spangdahlem, Germany for 3 years, and then settled down here. I'm still in the reserves on my weekends outside of working at this clinic. We've got 5 kids, and I named it Homestead in part because we've got cows and chickens and geese and turkeys and pigs and yeah, lots of animals. And that's just what I enjoy doing in my free time, taking care of those animals and gardening and things like that with the kids. And I mean, kind of one of the motions of the homesteading movement these days is to heal the land and do things like putting lots of manure on the land to help it to be nourished and come back to the way that maybe it should have been in the first place. And I kind of see that as in medicine as well, that there's been a lot of damage done, whether through insurance driven healthcare that hasn't listened to you and hasn't given you the care that you really need. And so Homestead Direct Primary Care is all about trying to build those relationships again between patients and doctor, about education to give you the control of your health care and what we're doing with it, and give you a place where you feel home. So that's a little bit about me. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to meet you soon. Bye.